Hello, I'm FX Toycat, and you know how people are always saying that the real journey is the destination? Well, personally, I think that the destination is the destination. I know, a real wild, wacky opinion, but if you are that sort of person, then maybe you'll like extending your journey so you can extend your destination, and today I wanted to help you do precisely that in Minecraft with some really inefficient ways to get from A to B in the Minecraft sense, because I don't want to just talk about transport, I want to talk about all manner of different things, because for instance, do you ever have some coal ore that you get while using a silk touch pickaxe, and you want to smelt it up? Well, one of the best things you can do is you can throw your coal ore in a furnace and smelt it up using coal. This is super efficient because unlike mining it with, say, a fortune pickaxe where you'd get between 1 and 4 coal block back each time, not only will you be wasting 1/8 of your coal to smelt up your coal, but also you'll get a tiny bit of experience every time you do it. Do you see the difference I got by smelting that coal versus mining it? You probably didn't because it's pretty much the same, but it's a really delightful thing, and that's not to mention the inefficiency of not using a blast furnace, right? Who doesn't love throwing in some diamond ore into their blast furnace? Let's actually just make it the one diamond ore. Let's not go too crazy on this one. And smelting up your diamonds this way, avoiding that bonus from using, obviously, avoiding your bonus you could have got with a fortune pickaxe. Wow, I sure do love inefficiency. Speaking of inefficiency, something very interesting you might not know is that there are 2 types of staircase in Minecraft. Effectively, the most efficient type, which is the cake staircase, because it has the most blocks that go up at a single point in time. It's basically a ladder, because for every block that you go horizontally, you go 6 blocks, in the other axis, which is pretty wild when you compare it to a straight ladder. And you might even question, like, wait, why does this need to exist if there's a ladder next to it? And the simple answer is, of course, this doesn't need to exist. It's a ladder made from cakes. What do you expect? And the longer, but technically correct answer is that actually what you can do is you can walk sideways while you climb upwards, which is a pretty cool ability. You can extend this as much as you like, even going all the way up to sky height if you want to, managing to go in one direction as you climb up in another one. But you know what the second best bit is? Well, I've gotten really hungry from all this running and cake climbing and falling off, etc. Do you know how I restore my hunger? Well, it turns out to make these, giant ladders, you need to eat some cake. And you know what the best bit about that is? It means that you can eat some cake as you're going along right here. Like, is this good? This seems pretty good. Is this good? You know what, just in case, let's go ahead and take a little bite from it anyway. And yeah, as a result, you eat a lot of cake, which is my favorite thing to do in real life, so why not my favorite thing in Minecraft? That's all I'm saying here. Speaking of things that I am saying in this video, that could be referring to anything else, I guess. Let's talk about the exact opposite, because that is arguably really efficient, if you think about it, because it really is just a way to point out the least efficient staircase. So when I made a video many years ago about weird, wacky staircase designs, the least efficient staircase that existed at that point in time was this one right here. It took 8 blocks horizontally to go 1 block vertically, as opposed to 6 blocks vertically for every one. Basically, it's 48 times less efficient than a cake staircase, and although it's changed since it moved to Bedrock, you can see how much sadder and like bumpier it is, because Bedrock, if you look at this, the way snow works in Bedrock is very, very bizarre compared to Java and console. You kind of walk through the snow and then you like hop up like it's a staircase. But interestingly enough, because of all the blocks that have been added since, you can actually make an even less efficient staircase. So this is the new most inefficient staircase in Minecraft. As you can see, we start with the lily pad, which is a 64th of a block, and we move all the way up through the progression till we get the dirt path, which is 15/16, and then we get the full block, which is 16/16, and it takes 14 blocks. I mean, you could argue the boat isn't a block. 13 blocks and a boat to get there, which is pretty fun in my opinion. Also, probably good idea to get rid of the fire on the campfire, but we're not going to because we can handle it. So here you can see lily pad onto carpet, onto redstone repeater, onto iron trapdoor. Any trapdoor's the same though. Onto the daylight detector, onto the campfire, onto a boat, onto a half slab, onto a bed, onto an end rod, onto an enchantment table, onto a chest, onto a dirt path, onto a grass block. 14 tiny increments that get you up to 14. They get you up to a full block. This is the smoothest staircase you can make in Minecraft, minus the fire, and it's super. Again, even though the Bedrock engine is really bad at the smooth movement that you'll get if you try to emulate the same thing on Java or console, or any other edition for that matter, it is worth mentioning that yeah, if you want to have a really smooth experience going up or down a staircase, this is the best way to do it. But also, it's the worst way to do literally every other thing about a staircase. But I really love seeing inefficient things like this, because someone took a lot of time to work out how to waste a lot of time. And isn't that nice? I think that's nice. Do you know what else is nice? This video, that you should like, by the way. you know, isn't it funny how YouTubers don't tell you to like their videos in the middle anymore? That's a weird thing. I'm gonna interrupt my video's flow right here just to say, hey, isn't liking the video cool? No, it's not actually. It's annoying. Who wants to be reminded to like it? Don't like this video. Don't reward me for that behavior. Instead, what you should do is know that the next thing that I think is real useful is a farm for string. There's a few ways you can get string farms in Minecraft. But the one that definitely makes you the biggest monster is when you go to a Minecraft village, because did you know you can find string here? The reason you can find string is because cats have a small chance of dropping string when they die. I mean, there are much better ways to get strings from cats in the long run, such as perhaps, you know, letting them bring it to you, taming them and being friendly, but also, if you just want to be a monster, you can farm cats, and therefore you can farm the string, because when you have villagers, one of the consequences is villagers will spawn cats. When you kill their cats, more cats will spawn, and sometimes, as has existed for a very long time on Bedrock, as I'm sure you know, you can even, you have too many cats spawning to the level where there's just too many cats that you have to kill them anyway, and then you'll get some spare string. Again, very inefficient, but interestingly enough, I can't really call it 100% inefficient, because a fair number of speedruns, especially back when village seeds were the most common type of first set seed glitchless, a fair number of speedruns will use cat killing as the fastest way to make a bow in Minecraft, because if you get lucky on, again, 2 cat kills, or just 2 or 3, you can make a bow solely with the string that you get from killing cats, which means this isn't the worst thing in that way. However, I haven't been to sleep in a few days. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about that, because sleeping is inefficient, but not quite as inefficient as deciding, you know what, you really want some gunpowder, right? How are you going to get gunpowder? Well, I could fight a creeper, but I don't have a diamond sword. I'm going to die if I don't do something about this soon. So what you do instead is you kill creepers using your second favorite resource, which is, of course, the TNT. If you want to look for gunpowder, and you know you don't have any weapons to hand, but you do have TNT because you had some gunpowder previously, one of the best ways to use that TNT is to kill some creepers. Here's another one. Look at this one. It's like shooting creepers in a barrel. Oh yeah, look at that. You are dead. Okay, you're not. So it's just a dumb continuation of like, hey, did you know pretty much any Minecraft resource you can get in the most effective way if you want to, or you can get in a much less effective way. And one great example of that is pretty much every Minecraft mob has an example. Like if you want bone meal, you can just like take some seeds and put them in a composter. If you want to get bricks, you can keep going to villages. Every Minecraft block has a primary, or every Minecraft resource has a primary way to get it, and usually they have a secondary or a tertiary. Even the phantom membrane, you know, you think of them right now, and you're like, yeah, the phantom membrane, there's no way you can get those things without killing those guys. That sucks, right? If I want to repair my elytra, that definitely exists right now, if you want to repair that elytra, what are you going to do? And interestingly enough, to bring this little segment full circle, what you're going to do is you're going to use a cat, and the cat can bring you phantom membrane. If you don't kill them for string, you monsters, you shouldn't be doing it. String, cat lives matter, and I think we really need to start recognizing that, friends. So the next form of inefficiency is honestly a little bit of a flex, because do you ever get blue ice, one of Minecraft's rarest and most valuable resources, and then decide, you know what, using this for... Did the sheep get in? The sheep got in, that's fine. Do you ever decide, you know what, using this for a boat as, you know, nature intended, as is indeed Minecraft's fastest method, nah, that's not for me, and instead you decide to put rails on it. This is, interesting enough, more expensive than either just having a blue ice pathway or just having a minecart, and it's really interesting. Why is that sheep called W? I'd love to know the story behind why I named a brown sheep W. But as you can see, do you ever think it's weird that just minecarts hover and float for no reason? Do you know what? This video is meant to be about inefficiencies. Why is it that minecarts are so slow when there's literally no friction? Look at this magic. Look at that right there. How is any of that possible? Am I only now just questioning this? Like, have minecarts always had such a high clearance from the ground? Like, we have hover cars. It's 2020. Everyone's like, oh, we don't have hover cars yet. We have hover cars. They exist. Look at that gap. Look at that. Anyway, this is kind of in the category of flexing, and it's interesting to me because when you really think about the difference between a Minecraft flex and a Minecraft inefficiency, it's kind of the same thing. If you have the money to, you have the resources, to be more accurate, to do, inefficient things, it's a flex on people. That's why, you know what, if you ever noticed how, like, rich old people like speaking to humans more than they like speaking to machines, it's dumb. Machines aren't even as good, but it's like, yeah, I can get a person to speak to. I have that power, And you know what? That's kind of the same with this right here. Also, you know, minecarts without powered rails are so hilariously slow. Like, this is another layer of inefficiency. I didn't realize, but like, have regular rails instead of having powered rails, and you literally move slower than walking speed. And I don't know why you need this in your world, but I assure you, you definitely do. But there's only one thing that is more inefficient than using minecarts, because we all know how much of a method they suck as. So the last time I spoke about the least efficient way you could move in Minecraft, the technique at the time was to use a sword and to, you know, to block with it while going through some cobwebs. Cobwebs which were blocked, by the way, by some soul sand, had some soul sand underneath. And then there was a technique that I still believe works on Java, but not on Bedrock, where ice underneath soul sand will for some reason slow it down even further. Interestingly enough, since then, you can get even slower results if you want to, because of the addition of the berry bush. So even though this hurts you, it's worth mentioning, so do not recommend all the time. As you can see, you can actually crouch through this, and you'll move insanely slow. I mean, this is just crouching through some blocks. If you want to get people, again, even when you're walking at full speed, this is pretty painfully slow. But now we go into crouch mode, and look at the speed we go through. We are moving at less than 1/10 of a block per second. We are just now entering the second block. But things have gone even slower than that, because if we now add in another layer to this, let's add in a shield, we can now do the blocking, you know, the proper block crouch again, which slows things down even more. Now we wish we were going 1/10 of a block a second, except also, do you know what? There's also the Potion of the Turtle Master, giving you for the first time ever, slowness 6 in natural Minecraft. Look at that FOV change, and now combine that with all these things together, and tell me, can you see me moving? Because I can see myself going about 1 pixel every 5 to 10 seconds, which we can work out 1 pixel is a 16th of a block. We can say, conservatively, it's taking about 7, I'd say it's a little longer, it's more like 8 seconds. If it takes 8 seconds to go 1/16th of a block, do you know what that means it takes me to go the entire length of a block? 128 seconds. Given that a block is 1 meter, we are going at 1/128th of a meter per second, and meters per second is admittedly not you know, like it's a good measurement, but let's work that out in miles per hour. Well, under the effects of the Potion of the Turtle Master, we move at 0.01 miles per hour. You wish you moved the speed of a turtle. You know, turtles probably don't wish too much. They have pretty chill existences. You know, the real meaning behind the turtle, you know, it's the slow one that wins the race, is that, you know what, do you need to win races against hares? You ever seen an animal and thought, you know what, I'm gonna race that guy, and this is gonna be important to me? No, you don't see that, because that's dumb. And yeah, just as a fun fact, if you go above slowness 5, you don't move at all. I've been on slowness 6 this entire time, and you might have noticed I do not move. Although I'm now curious as to how many layers of slowness we can go to. Yeah, it makes no difference after a certain point, I guess. We just exist. Even when we're walking, we're going nowhere. We are just a thing that exists. And Minecraft is fun when you play it this way, isn't it? I think you'll all agree. This is a very inefficient way to do things in Minecraft that I hope you all enjoyed, because you know what? Sometimes videos can be real, and sometimes they can be fake about things you shouldn't do in Minecraft, because I think tutorials are really useful, but I think some people learn better by learning what not to do. I think, you know, like there's positive teaching, there's negative teaching, and I think sometimes learning by mistake is actually a very valuable thing that we shouldn't discount as much as we do. Look how tall that cactus is. You know, there's sometimes when you're super zoomed in that you see more details in the world that you otherwise wouldn't pay much attention to, and this is one of those great moments. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this thing. If you did, you know, it's up to you. You know what to do if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, then that's cool too. But for now, I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.